you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
I'm Moses Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, our latest things that makes official. Welcome to the big show. As always, the Chris Voss Show is a family that loves you, but doesn't judge you as harshly as the rest of the world. For 16 years and 2,500 episodes, we've been bringing the Chris Voss Show all the most brilliant minds, stories, and everything that can inspire you to enjoy your life. I prefer to show your family, friends, and relatives. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Facebook.com/Chris Voss, and all those places on the internet. Do it now, or else don't make me pull the car over there and come back there, folks. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may buy advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today's featured author comes to us from bookstolifemarketing.co.uk. With expert publishing to strategic marketing, they help authors reach their audience and maximize their book success. Today we have an amazing young man on the show. We're going to be talking about a story of his mother and courage. It is entitled, the book out June 20th, 2024, called Mother of Courage, a true story of an armless dentist and her triumph over tragedy. Dr. Philip Chanin joins the group with us today. We're going to be talking to him about his insights, et cetera, and what a wonderful story this is he has that he's going to share with us today. He is a doctorate in ABPP, a CGP, a licensed clinical psychologist and consulting Buddhist psychotherapist. He's a nationally certified group psychotherapist and an advanced imago therapist in private practice in Nashville, Tennessee. He is board certified through the American Board of Professional Psychology, and since 2005, he's been an assistant clinical professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences at Vanderbilt University School of Medicine. Welcome to the show, Dr. Philip. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for coming on the show. Give us your .coms. Where do you want people to find you on the interwebs?
Well, the website for the book is motherofcourage.com, motherofcourage.com, and my own personal website is drphilchanin, drphilchanin.com.
So give us a 30,000 overview of what's inside this book.
Over the years, so many people have said to me, someone needs to write your mother's story. And so finally, 24 years after her death, I've finally written that book.
And so give us an overview. Who was your mom? Why was the story important? And what are some of the aspects of it?
I hoped that people would be inspired by my mother's story. It's a vivid example of what a handicapped person is able to accomplish if they have her degree of determination and are able to ask for help. She was truly a marvelous, caring, loving person.
And what were some of the aspects of her handicap?
She, when I was born, she had no artificial arms. Her arms had been amputated after the accident.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I was about 6 years old and we moved to California, to UCLA, where they had an experimental program where they were training prosthetists in the newest techniques of prosthetic devices. And she was an experimental amputee for 2 years there in Los Angeles. And they gave her an artificial arm. They taught her to drive a car, and she became much more independent.
Wow. So give us the story of how this happened. How did she lose her arms? And what was this accident that you've teased us now about?
She was halfway through dental school. She just passed her junior boards. She was sailboating on the San Jacinto Bay near Houston, and with some fellow classmates and the man she probably would have married. And they took the boat to a little cove and they swam. And then around 5 o'clock, they were taking the boat back out. And Lou, her boyfriend, sort of pinched her and she swung up onto the edge of the boat and she was holding on to the steel stay that came down from the mast. At that moment, the mast contacted a 13,000-volt wire.
Oh, shit.
That had
Wow.
dropped below the level it was supposed to be. So that 13,000 volts went down through that steel stay. She was holding on to it. It went through her hands, through her arms. He had each of his hands right at the upper parts of her arms. So when it got to him, since he was standing in the water, it went through him to the ground, and he was killed instantly.
Jeez. Wow. And that was, did you say that was her brother?
That was the man she probably would have married.
Oh, she probably would have married. Okay. Wow. Wow. That is an extraordinary event.
Yes.
And not only heartbreaking for her, probably in multiple ways. I mean, that would cause me some major depression.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she wasn't married at the time. Was she married when she had you guys?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
She lost her arms in 1941.
Mm-hmm.
She finished dental school. She went back to Baylor to finish her undergraduate studies. Then she went to the University of Michigan to get a master's in public health so she could teach. And there she met my father in 1944, and they were married in 1946. And then I was born in 1948.
Wow. What a start of a story then. And how many kids did she have? And how long was it before she finally got access with at least one arm there with the prosthetic?
Well, I was born in 1948. My brother was born in 1950, so he's 2 years younger. It's just the two of us. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't until about 1955, 56, when we were in Los Angeles, that she got a good prosthesis and was able to drive the car.
Wow. So you do all that. And what is it like growing up? What are some of the struggles that she had, that you saw? I mean, was it odd for you? I mean, imagine, you're looking at your mom, you're looking at maybe other moms. Mom, why does everyone else have different things than you? Or how did that come to you as you were growing up?
Well, the mother I knew best had no arms. I remember going grocery shopping as a little boy with her, and I'd see all these women in the grocery store aisles with arms, and it looked very strange to me.
It's kind of funny. It didn't look normal. It looked like your mom was the normal one. Everyone's
exactly.
like, who are these weird people?
That's right.
I like that.
And my father invented lots of things to help her be able to move around the house.
Oh, wow.
He put levers on all the door handles so she could open the doors. She taught herself to cook without arms.
Mm-hmm. Are you still there? Yeah,
yes.
There you are. So she learned to cook without arms? That's quite a thing. Was she using her toes or props? Or
she would use her feet to open drawers.
Wow.
And once she got her artificial arm, then she had a hook on the end of the arm, and she could pull open drawers. She could pick up a pan. And my father invented a rolling shelf device so she could move a casserole out of the refrigerator, roll it across the floor, push the device, and she'd be able to slide the casserole into the oven.
Wow. There you go. Get that casserole in. That was definitely that era. That era, I remember my mom would always make casseroles. Everything was a casserole back then, pretty much. It's like, you had the meatloaf casserole, and then you had the, I don't know, I can't find a joke for it. But yeah, the eggplant casserole, which is gross. Don't eat that, folks. And, everything was a casserole back then. I think that's pretty much was the standard of cooking, especially if you had the big casserole thing, family thing. But so how did that impact you watching your mother do this stuff? It just seemed normalized to you maybe. And did you see, did it make you guys have to grow up and help out more sooner?
Yes. My brother and I helped out a great deal. We learned to help her in the kitchen. I learned to iron, and she would pay me a penny for each handkerchief and 2 cents for a pillowcase.
Really?
Yes.
There's some money involved here.
Yeah, I learned to iron, and I was able to help her around the house and in the garden. Everyone was inspired by her, and people often would meet her, and they wouldn't realize that she had no arms, and they'd reach out to shake her hand, and she would reach out her hook, and she'd say, "I left my arms at home today."
Oh, I left wire harness at home today. I do that with my legs every now and then, or my brain, one of the two. I think it's the brain that I leave at home sometimes. What are some of the stories, or can you tease out some of the stories that are in the book that you can share with us?
She had a marvelous sense of humor. She had to have many blood transfusions after the amputation.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of the ones who gave blood were soldiers who were there in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And one time she was getting blood from all these different soldiers, and she said, I'll either come out fighting or I'll be a League of Nations.
It sounded like she had some pretty good humor about.
She had a marvelous sense of humor.
I mean, that having that sort of perspective in that scale of tragedy is it's one of the great things about human nature and our ability to find hope and to survive. And humor, of course, is a great way as a mirror for us, and a great way to challenge our ability to deal with what. I mean, you can meet the moment with depression or pain or anger or resentment, or you can meet the moment with what's in this opportunity that can happen. How can I make the best of what I have? And that's the great thing about the human spirit, is we're fairly good at that from time to time. Having the good human spirit. So as you grow up and does she, is there something that inspires you in her raising you that makes you want to go into psychology?
After she lost her arms and had to go back to Baylor to finish her undergraduate school, she was very active in Psi Chi, the psychology sorority and fraternity. Now I'm forgetting your question.
It was, did that influence you to get into psychology?
Yes. So she was a very psychologically, interpersonally astute woman. And she really communicated that her boys could become whatever they wanted to become. And so it happened that I was in graduate school at the University of Massachusetts, and I was running a 22-story, the bottom 8 floors of a 22-story dormitory. And I was the head of residence, and the other heads of residence were planning to be deans or college administrators. So I got a master's in higher education. But then I met a bunch of graduate students who were planning to be psychotherapists, and I realized I'm a lot more like these people than the higher ed people. So I'm going to become a psychotherapist.
And so your mom was probably proud of you to go into that sort of business then, maybe.
She was proud of me. She really was.
Well, that's awesome. That is totally awesome. So you go through this experience, you learn to become a successful psychologist and stuff. And then is there anything else we're missing about the memoir you've written about her that we should know about?
Someone asked, why did you include yourself and your brother and your father in your story? And I really didn't know how to tell my mother's story without including myself, my brother, and my father, who was responsible in so many ways for helping my mother to function independently. Mm-hmm. And when I relocated from New Hampshire back to Tennessee in 1991, I expected I would find my own apartment or home, but living with my mother was so congenial that I decided to live with her and take care of her during the last decade of her life.
Oh, wow. Well, that's an honorable thing to do. So you moved in with her, took care of her last decade of her life. How long did she live to?
She lived to be 83 and a half.
Good for her.
She died in January of 1991. Mm-hmm. And she had spent 25 years on the faculty of Meharry Dental School, mm-hmm. where she was a professor of preventive dentistry. Without arms, she couldn't practice dentistry, but she could teach and she could instruct the dental students as they taught patients about oral health.
Mm. And wow, she just has a successful career there, and she did a lot with her life. You would think that when someone has that sort of experience that they would just kind of I don't know what I would do in the realm of that, and I just hopefully I would find comedy and be like your mom, but you never know. I mean, these are challenging events that people go through, and it's great that you've written this story. Yeah, what does the rest of your family think about the books?
Everyone who's read the book has been really impressed with it. We've gotten a lot of 5-star Google reviews for the book. The book is available on Amazon in hardcover, softcover, Kindle, and the audio version that I read myself.
So you can pick up the audio version, folks. Now, it says here that she becomes a nationally known advocate for people with disabilities. Tell us about how that played out.
Well, she received an award as the outstanding professional handicapped woman in the United States.
Wow.
And she went to Washington to receive the award from the President's Council on the Handicapped. And then she was very active in Nashville in organizations that helped out handicapped people.
All right. And that was probably pretty much pioneering back then. There wasn't a lot of support, I don't think, for it, was there?
There was not. That was before the laws about having to have ramps for handicapped people and for things for handicapped people to be able to get in their wheelchairs onto buses. This was before all of that.
Yeah. I mean, before the ADA and some of that stuff that made, parking and everything available. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, being an advocate for stuff, I know we've had, I forget his name, one of the Shriners on, who's a grandson of the Kennedys. He and his family helped start the Special Olympics somewhere back then. And so that was just kind of the emergence of people starting to become aware and, hey, we should probably help out handicapped folks and make sure we have inclusivity on everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it says here too, she also taught at a historically black medical college.
That's the Meharry Dental School. Yes.
Teaching. How was she able to do dental work with her condition? She
couldn't actually do dental work, but she could teach.
Okay. And so she learned it. She learned it before the accident, and then she would teach it after. Well, there's a place for everybody to do stuff. I think it'd be even cooler if she learned to do it with her feet. I've seen people that don't have arms that they can do like these amazing things with their feet, like cook, and they've got dexterity, so they got more dexterity than I do, and so they can move around and do stuff, and it's like, wow, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, one of the men that my mother met had no arms, and he used his feet to drive the car. He would use his feet to turn the steering wheel, and he drove the car all the way across country.
Wow, that is just wild. And life gives you lemons. Make some lemonade with it.
Yes.
Don't put up with that crap from life anymore. You tell life how it's going to be. What else maybe should we do we want to tease out or talk about?
Well, I learned many life lessons from my mother. Certainly I learned about the determination it takes to accomplish one's goals in life. She was also incredibly interpersonally savvy and kept up with the friends she made as we hopscotched across the country for my father's many jobs. She would personally address with a pen in her teeth over 200 Christmas cards every December to send to these many friends. Thus, I learned from her about the importance of maintaining friendships, and I've been able to do this as well.
And so it sounds like she was a great teacher, and of course, she was a living example of probably humility and overcoming stuff, and probably contributed to your ability to look at resilience in life, because you're like, well, I have problems, but seeing my mom overcome the issues she had and take it so well, it's how you meet the moment, right? It's how you respond to the challenges of life.
Yes, and it certainly puts any difficulties I have in perspective.
As we go out, give people a final pitch out to get to know you better and the show, .coms, all that sort of good stuff.
So
pitch out to pick up the book.
Yeah, so there's the book. And the website for the book is motherofcourage.com. And my own personal website is Dr. Phil, DrPhilChanin, drphilchanin.com.
This should be a great read for people. They can pick up the audiobook too, and they can get to know things better about you and what's going on over there. So this should be quite interesting. Dr. Phillip, anything more you want to tease out or pitch out on your services or anything like that before we go?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, sounds like we got it all. All right, well, thank you very much, Doctor, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Order up the book wherever fine books are sold, folks. It's called Mother of Courage, The True Story of an Armless Dentist and Her Triumph Over Tragedy, out June 20th, 2024. Thanks to everyone for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, youtube.com/Chris Voss, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. And that should do